don't think I'm going to take another turn to heal. I only have one buried, two in the discard, and just one in the discard here. So I think we're okay. I don't think we need to. And I'll take care of those wounds with one of Aseki's Inspire companion cards. We have no active encounter in play, so there's nothing to do on the reinforcements phase. We are going to travel and move up to the next unknown area on our way to the Howling Hills. We'll move on and see what our new location is going to be. The Serpent Spire. Venomous Totem. When this location is the active location, if a player buries any cards as a result of an enemy attack, that player also places one, I think that's the poison symbol, one poison on their hero character. And that's these little tokens right here. Little poison tokens. So that's the Serpent Spire. We gotta watch taking wounds from enemies, and that's the D. That location is perilous. We'll put a wound token on it and draw an active encounter for the Wildlands. Oh, this one right up. Beastmaster. Not the movie from the 1980s, but the active encounter. 2 times the number of players, so we'll have 4 enemies drawn. They're all going to be beasts. Draw from the green enemy deck until a Beastman enemy is revealed. Place the Beastman in the quest. Discard other cards drawn. All Beastman enemies receive an additional 3 health as long as there are any Beastman enemies in play. All enemies ignore slow and receive an additional health. Place 1 whenever a beast enemy leaves play. Place 2 whenever a Beastman enemy leaves play. So I need 5 or no enemies in play. And they do get reinforcements. Okay, that's our active encounter. So the setup rules say draw from the enemy deck until a Beastman enemy is revealed. Okay. Beastman. That's a beast, not a Beastman. There's a Beastman. Oh, the Hunter Swoopers are Beastman. Okay. And it told us to discard the other cards drawn. I believe that counts as one of the 4 that we have to draw. So I still need to keep drawing and get 3 beast enemies. That's a Beast Man. Running out of cards here. These are all beast men, not beasts. Okay, I'm going to have to reshuffle the deck and I'll draw until I get 3 beasts. These are our monsters and the order that they were drawn in. First we had that special setup rule for the Beast Man. Then we got a Sand Charger. This enemy does not attack in the same round it enters. Well, that's going to be ignored because as long as there's a Beast Man in play, they get to ignore the slow and they get an additional health. And this Beast Man gets an additional 3 health. And a Fell Drake with the Lightning Breath again. And there was an additional Sand Charger that came into play. We'll put these enemies down here in the quest area. Our first enemy, the Beastman, will go to Durgan. Take him down to 2. Our first sand charger will come here to a Seki, taking her to 1. The Fell Drake. We'll go to Durgan, putting him at 1. And finally, the remaining sand charger will go to a Seki, taking her down to 0 enemy focus. I forgot during the reinforcements phase that if there's no active encounter in play that this gets reset to 0. I'm going to start with a Seki, and I'm going to do her fast action to place the Ring of Fortitude in her hero area, and that will move her enemy focus 1. It must be a really shiny ring to get the enemy's attention. And then we'll do the fast action to inspire companion, 1 hero or ally, and that's a range of 2, so I can take care of the ally in the other hero's area. 2 restoration points, and then that will also raise, and I'll be able to take off these 2 wounds, and I'm sure they'll be coming back on. Also have to remember that this Hunter Swooper starts out needing an additional range to hit it. I'm also going to do my loot, a spell song reflex. When I put that Ring of Fortitude down, it was a fast action and that has an arcane keyword on it. After you resolve an action of a song or arcane card, 2 players may draw 1 card each, or 1 player may draw up to 2 and place this card on top of your deck. I'm going to do that. It's going to go on top of her deck, and that was going to raise the focus 2 doing so. I'm going to have them each draw 1 card. She gets the Loot of Spell Song. Shocking. And then Durgan gets a weapon attack. Good. He already had 1, but now he has 2. And that's going to give us a big bonus to help take out some of these enemies. I'll go ahead and put this right back into play using the fast action on it, and the fast action for Loot of the Spell Song does not move the enemy focus, so it's ready to go again. If I play an arcane or song card, I can draw more cards. I'm going to use a Seki's Inspiring Presence to discard a card to flip an ally. I'm going to discard Inspire Companion, which is a song also, which means I can use my reflex on Perseverance of the Bard. Whenever you discard any number of song cards, you may move 1 song card from your discard pile to the bottom of your deck. Let me see if there's another one in here I'd rather move. Song of Hope. Yeah, I'll do that one, because that'll help. So I'm going to put the Song of Hope, and that's the one that allows me to put tokens on my objective tokens on the active encounter, so I'll do that. And then do I want to flip Segres with an attack of 3? Maybe. Or Flavi. So I could place a token on any card, or I could reduce the enemy focus. I'm going to go with the attack. So we'll flip Segres over from Inspiring Presence. And because I used Perseverance of the Bard to get that song card back, I need to move the enemy focus 1. Now I'm going to do the ally action to attack an enemy. And I'm going to attack one of these sand chargers. Segres does 3 physical. The sand charger has 2. Resistance to physical. Okay. Which means it's going to take 1 wound. Then I could discard an arcane or combat to attack again. Do I want to do that? Yes. I'll discard this Arcane Wisdom and Finesse card to do an additional attack. And then I have to flip this card to the exhausted side, and I have to move the focus 4 for the 2 attacks that I did, causing the reinforcement track to move and another token to come off of the holding box. I'll use Flavi's ally action to reduce my focus 1 to the left. Both of my allies have gone. The only regular action that Aseki has is her sword. Deal 2 physical damage. You may discard up to 2 combat cards. I don't have any more combat cards to discard, so the most I could do would be 2 physical, and it has 2 physical resistance. And its weaknesses are frost and lightning, and I don't have anything like that. I think that's the best I can do with Aseki. I've used her Inspiring Presence. I don't have anything that I can do. After you resolve an action of a song, 2 players may draw a card. I did that. I don't think I have anything left to do. Aseki has 2 cards in her hand, so we have to draw back up to 5. We have Wisdom and Finesse, Song of Reprieve, and another Wisdom and Finesse. Good, because those are arcane and combat keywords on Wisdom and Finesse. So that might help us out in the next turn. Then we move over here to Durgan, who is going to want to take care of this Hunter Swooper and try and help take out that Sand Charger that's already wounded at the same time, which is going to be difficult because as long as this Hunter Swooper is in play, all the beasts have an additional health, so it has 5. So I would need to do 3 damage at a range to it, and this has 6 because it has 3 additional. I think I have my action figured out, but I might want to use Anthea first here. Yeah, I'm going to do her regular ally action to draw a card, see if I have anything else. It's a weapon block. Okay. And then I have to move my focus over 1 because I used that ally action. First thing I'm going to do is play my weapon attack. It's a regular action. Resolve any one action of a weapon card in your... Oh, hold on a second. I can't do that yet. I gotta do it in the right order here. First thing I have to do is I have to put my hand axe into my hero area using the fast action, and it does not bring up any enemy focus. So that's in my hero area now. And then I do the weapon attack. Resolve any one action of a weapon card in your hero area. And that's going to move my enemy focus over 1. Okay. If the action deals physical or magical damage, it deals +2 physical. And that's what I'm counting on. And I'm going to use the hand axe because it's the only ranged weapon I have to do a regular action. And you can do that regular action even though that one was a regular action because it activates it on this card. That's okay then. To deal 2 wounds. So let's do that. So we'll put 2 wounds up here to let us know, and we will move the focus over 2. You may discard up to 2 combat guards to deal +1. I'm not sure if I'm going to need to do that. We'll see here. So we go back to our weapon attack card that we played, and the action did deal physical. so it's going to do +2, and we're going to move our focus over. So there's that, and move our focus over twice, and that is going to activate the reinforcement symbol. And now our time charter has moved into the 2 spot, which is okay considering we're only one area away from where we need to be. We'll put those 4 tokens back in. And on the hand axe, I will do this, where I can discard up to 2 combat cards to give me +1 each for each card discarded. And then the hand axe will get discarded, so I will discard, let's see, I will discard my weapon block and weapon attack. They're both combat cards. That'll do 2 more damage, and that will cause the focus to move twice again. And then my Smith of Hammer Home that's in my hero area, I'll activate the reflex. Any action of a weapon card that deals damage can deal 1 more. So I'll activate that. I'm at 6, that'll put me at 7 total wounds. And then that will move my focus again. I think that series of events has been completed. Let me check. Yes, that chain of actions is complete. The Hunter Swooper has 2 physical resistance, leaving it with 5 wounds on it, and only needing 1 more wound to take care of it. Thanks to the special rule, it has that 3 additional health. But we're going to do the fast action of the Tremor card to deal 3 wounds at a range. I could discard an arcane card from my hand to put this on top of my deck. I don't have an arcane card in my hand, so I will discard it. That will move the track twice, and I pass the enemy enragement. So the Feldrake will enrage here in a moment. But that's going to do 3 more wounds, -2, for a total of 6. And that is enough to take this Hunter Swooper out, which will stop these beasts from getting that additional health. I will get 1 token, and whenever a Beastman enemy leaves play, we can put 2 of these on there. We need a total of 5, and we do have reinforcements coming, so it may be easier to get to the total of 5 than it would be to eliminate all the enemies from play. 1 more. I want to get my great shield that was in my hand into play. Fast action to place into my hero area. Does not change focus, and it's a D1. I have no D cards in play right now, so it is also in my hero area. The only other card I have in my hand right now is the War Sword, which is an A1. I have to do the Enrage for the Feldrake. It will attack with a magical attack of 3. I'll assign it to Anthea because she has a magical resistance of 3, so we're okay there. But the lightning breath of the Feldrake, when this enemy attacks, it also deals an additional magical damage to all allies and all other heroes. Oh no. And it's enraged. Lightning breath deals 2. Ouch. And it doesn't cool back down, so it stays enraged. I did not realize that. Okay, so When this enemy attacks, it deals 2 to all allies and all other heroes. I don't know if that gets added on to that additional attack or that initial attack of 3, or if it isn't another one on top of that. Let me see if I can figure that out. I didn't see anything that specifically said anything about it in the rule book, but I'm going to go with what would make sense thematically. And what I'm thinking is, since it has a magical attack to begin with, it's probably a breath weapon, and it just blasts Anthea, and this additional damage is splash damage because it's a breath weapon. So I would think that 2 would be added on to that 3, so Anthea would be hit with an attack of 5 magical damage, which means I would have to put 2 wounds on her. That's okay, it doesn't kill her. And now I have to do 2 to all allies and all other heroes. Now I think I'm another hero since I applied the attack to her, so I think I have to take it too. So 2 magical damage to me. The shield cancels physical, but I don't think I have anything that can cancel magical. No. So I'm going to have to bury 2 cards with Durgan. Let's see what we have in our discard pile. We have Tremor, Hand Axe, 2 weapon attacks, a weapon block. Okay, I will bury Imbue Weapon, and I have 2 weapon attack cards. But I have tons of weapons in my hand right now. So I'll bury my war sword. And then we'll move over here. Segres has no magical resistance. And Flavi has 1 magical resistance. Aseki, her ring can cancel 1 out. And then when I do that, I can either discard the ring or put it on the bottom of my deck. And the cloak can cancel also. Discard, discard, or place it on top of your deck. Okay, so she can use both of these to take care of the damage from the Feldrake. I can place this on the bottom of my deck, and I'll move my focus over 1 because I used it. And then discard this or place it on top of your deck. So I'll put the cloak on top and the ring on the bottom. That way they'll be available again here. I think that takes care of everything. Now I'm second guessing myself because it says when this enemy attacks, it also deals 1 to all allies and all other heroes. So maybe that additional breath damage does not apply to this attack, because if, say, Durgan was taking the attack, then it would apply to all the allies and other heroes, and it would not apply to him. So I believe I'm wrong on that. So that additional damage would not go on to Anthea. Let me know what you think your interpretation is in the comments, but I think that's correct, that since it says all allies and other heroes, which means not the person who was targeted from the main attack. I performed Anthea's ally action. I've done a regular action with Durgan. Does he have any fast actions? I could deal damage. No. No, these are all regular. Yeah. And with I couldn't overcome the resistance with a fast action. So that'll be that. We have to remember that this enemy is enraged. Let me put something. I'll just put this objective token on there to remind me that the enemy stays enraged, and it's going to do additional 2 splash damage every time it attacks. Don't have anything left that I can do. I have 0 cards in my hand. So I'll draw 5, leaving 1 in my draw pile. I got Fire Sting back. That might come in handy. Arcane Control, Tremor, Imbue Weapon, and Weapon Block. I got a good variety there. That may help me out, but I believe we are done with our hero phase, and now we have to see what kind of damage we're going to take here in the defense phase. Let's start with as long as there are any beast enemies in play, all enemies ignore slow. Okay, good. I'm sorry, any beast man enemies in play, and there are none. So both of these sand chargers do not ignore their slow. So they do not attack on the same round they entered the hero area. That's perfect, because we don't have to worry about these 2 attacking. We're only going to have to worry about activating the Fell Drake. Again, it's going to do the same thing, and I think we're going to lose some people here. I don't think I have anything that I can do about it either. Oh, yes, I can. Okay. Okay. So the Fell Drake will attack. And again, yeah, because I don't have any way to cancel magical attacks, so I will assign it to Anthea again, giving me 2 damage, and then everybody else 2 magical damage. And I have to get rid of cards for Durgan. I have a copy of most of these. I don't want to lose these weapon attacks, because those really help me take care of enemies. I'll bury a weapon block. Oh, I have to do that up there for the venomous totem. Darn it, almost forgot about it. And I have a weapon attack, a hand axe, weapon attack, tremor. I will bury Imbue Weapon from my hand and leave these in my discard pile. And this, when a location, if a player buries any cards as a result of an enemy attack, that player also places 1 on their hero charter. Okay, so I've buried cards twice. Yeah, I buried those 2 and then those 2. So for the first one, we'll put 1 on there, and then for this second attack that I've had to bury cards, we'll place 2 of the poison tokens on there. And that brings us over here. Segres, Flavi, and Aseki. Flavi has 1 resistance, so we'll place 1 wound on them. Segres has none and would die, but I'm going to use the Evade Harm Reflex to cancel 2 dealt to you or an ally in your hero area, and then I may draw 1 card. So I'll do that, ignore that damage, move my focus 1, draw my cloak, put it into my hand, and then for me, I don't know if I want to do this, because if I evade harm, then if I evade harm, it's going to move my focus over, enrage one of these sand chargers, and then they will attack with a physical attack of 3, leaving me with nothing that I can use to defend against it. Oh, yes I can, because I can have Segres, because that's a different attack. Okay, that's fine. So I will use my other Evade Harm card to avoid it for a secchi, and that will move me onto the enemy enragement. Take another out of the token holding box. I'll avoid the wounds. The sand charger will enrage and attack. Oh no, it doesn't attack. It just ignores slow. Okay. Here, I'll show you on the other copy of the card here. They don't always attack if they enrage. So that ignores slow. So that means it will attack this round. Okay, so it attacks. Segres has 3 to defend. Whenever a player buries any cards as a result, I didn't do that, so the 3 attack and the 3 defense cancel each other out. Now, when I enraged this enemy before, I did an attack, didn't I? And it just says enraged, lightning breath deals 2 instead. I should not have done an attack because it specifically says attack on the cards that the enemy, when it enrages, attacks. So I did all that damage to myself for no reason. Well, that was a mistake. I don't want to go back and watch everything over again to see exactly where I need to undo that. But I will undo some of it that I can remember off the top of my head. Segres, these 2 wounds were on that enraged attack, so I'm taking those off. Flavi had 1 of these wounds from the enraged attack. I'm not going to worry about the cards that I discarded because I don't remember which ones I discarded from my hand and which ones I discarded from my discard pile. I'll just accept the fact that I messed that up, but I will remove 1 of these poison symbols because that shouldn't have been placed on there because there wasn't a initial attack. Imbue weapon and war sword. I think those were from my... Oh, I can't remember. I don't want to. No, that's just my penalty for not paying attention. There were some cards that I had to bury that I shouldn't have buried. But I think taking the wounds off and that additional poison marker, that's fair enough for remembering my mistake there. Every game's a learning experience, so that's okay. I made a mistake. Now, when you're playing and you get the Feldrake and it enrages, you'll know, hey, remember what that guy did. He messed it all up, so I won't make that mistake. So I'm helping you out there. That is all for the defense phase, except we have to deal with the condition, which is resolved at the end of the defense phase. All conditions on each hero charter, ally or enemy, then remove 1 condition token from each hero charter, ally or enemy. For poison, let's see. When resolving the poison, the player must bury a card if an uncancelled damage was dealt to their hero. Damage from conditions cannot be cancelled. The poison token will come off because I can remove 1, but I will have to bury another card. And I don't think I will bury a card because I buried 2 cards initially from that attack that should not have happened. So I'm going to call it even. One of those. So now I only have 1 card in here buried that I should not have. So that's not so bad. And then I have 2 cards for a Secchi that are... Oh no. No, I was able to cancel it, that's right. I put her... So those cards are back in her draw deck instead of being over here. So, okay, it's not so bad after all. So I was able to undo almost all of the mistake that I made, so can't worry about that too much. It probably sounds like I'm rambling a lot and worrying too much about these mistakes that I've made, but I try to make the most accurate videos that I can, so I don't like making mistakes, but I'm okay with it at the same time because it's going to happen. And don't worry about it if it happens during your game, or if you're worried about too many rules, just make the mistakes and have fun playing the game. It's nothing to worry about. That'll take us into the encounter phase. We did not meet our end condition, so we will continue to the time phase, and unfortunately we are in the 2 spot of the time charter. And that's going to hurt, because now that moves us into the enemy enragement symbol on the time charter. And when that happens, I believe we both have 2. Each player enrages 1 enemy in their hero area, if able. Well, this one is already enraged, so that's not going to matter. Ignoring slow is okay, so that's not going to hurt us. This one's already enraged. These are both enraged now. Ignoring slow, but it's not going to get an attack in right now because we're in the time phase and not the defense phase, so we're okay there. We're not going to take an additional attack after all. And that will end this round, which was a pretty brutal one, mostly because I made some mistakes that made it a lot harder on myself than it should have been. Okay, so we're ready to move on to the next one. Draw decks. Still, Durgan is the one that's hurting here. He only has 1 in his draw deck. And then we have these cards buried up here. She's got plenty in her draw deck, so she's in much better shape than Durgan is. Our allies are in pretty good shape. We only got 1 wound on them. We got to take out some more of these monsters. Might want to consider flipping Flavi to put a token on here. That way we could take out 2 more monsters to get to our total of 5 and maybe get out of here in the next round, because this time charter is going to move a lot quicker now. 2 at a time. Yeah. I still think we have plenty of time since we're in the adjacent space to the Howling Hills. We don't have to worry about it passing over the 3, which was the event where whenever a new location is revealed, it is overrun, which would have 2 wound tokens on it. We're not going to go to this one, so we're okay there. Nothing to worry about. But we'll have to see if we can regroup from the mistakes and get more objective tokens placed on this active encounter, and we can get out of here, heal, and move on to our next location.